Welcome to Literature in the Garden, sponsored by the Nampa Public Library and the Canyon County Master Gardeners. This is the first of the series for Literature in the Garden for this summer. We're going to start with a story and then move on to making a craft today. Today we're going to read Plantzilla by Jerdine Nolen. June 8th. Dear Mr. Lester, I would like to bring Plantzilla home for the summer. All year long, I sat next to him, I brushed him, I watered him, I kept his growth charts. Plantzilla is the only plant I care that much about. Besides, he might miss me over the vacation and wonder where I am. I want Plantzilla, only Plantzilla, please. I have had so much fun with him in 3rd grade, I can hardly wait until next year. Your soon-to-be 4th grade student, Mortimer Henderson. 8th of June. To whom it may concern, Mortimer Henderson has permission to bring home a plant over summer vacation. We are happy to provide the care a plant would need to grow and thrive. As much sunlight does pour in through our windows, and there is more than enough water flowing from our clear crystal springs. We will be breathing a little easier now with all that extra oxygen. Don't you think this makes for the best kind of symbiotic relationship? Very truly yours, Mr. and Mrs. Henry Henderson. P.S. Mortimer does have his heart set on one plant in particular. He called it Plantzilla. Do I have that right? It does seem like an odd name for a plant. June 9. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Henderson, I am delighted Mortimer has chosen Cilia. The plants were named based on their characteristics. The children nicknamed this one Plantzilla because Zilla sounds like Cilia. As you are probably aware, cilia is a term used in botany to describe a hair-like material that can run along the margin or edge of a structure, such as a leaf, usually forming a fringe. Mortimer has taken care of Plantzillia's care and development. I am sure he will want to continue this over the summer. Of course, there are cases where the fondness for these plants grows as well. Don't be surprised if you find it difficult to part with Plantzilla at summer's end. If this should happen, I am happy to tell you that adoption is not out of the question. Feel free to write or have Mortimer drop me a postcard if any questions should crop up, or just let me know how things are going. My address is Samuel G. Lester, care of Plantimonium Holiday Aloha Resort, Honolulu, Hawaii. Very truly yours, Samuel G. Lester, science teacher and plant program coordinator, Strubix Day School. P.S. Please be so kind and provide transportation for Plantzilla. These plants are not allowed on the bus. June 15th. Dear Mr. Lester, thank you for Plantzilla. Things are going really great. Plantzilla loves living here. I can tell. I just knew he would be happy. Remember when you said different plants have different growing preferences? That is so true. Wait until you see how Plantzilla is growing. The best news of all is that Plantzilla is beginning to eat real food, mostly meat. I'll keep my notes up and will write again soon. Your student, Mortimer H. June 25th. Dear Mr. Lester, remember when you told us caring for plants in this program gives you more benefits than you can ever imagine? That is so true. Plantzilla is so amazing. Wait until you see him. It's like he's more than alive. Sometimes all I want to do is water him, brush his hairs, and watch him grow. He seems to like it when I loosen the soil around the top of his pot. I could watch him all day. But Mother says I should be running around and playing outside. I wish I could bring Plantzilla along. To me, he's more than just a plant. Thank you so much for giving me the chance to show you how I can really care for Plantzilla. You may not even recognize him anymore. I love Plantzilla. Your friend, Mortimer H. June 28th. Dear Mr. Lester, I am so proud of Plantzilla. He is the true growing king. It's just like you said, a little water and sunlight make all the difference in a plant's life. Father thinks Plantzilla is making too much of a difference in my life. Mother thinks Plantzilla is taking up too much of my time. I told them he needs me. They have been marking the days on the calendar until the end of the summer. I wish this summer with Plantzilla would never end. I think he feels that way too. Your student, Mortimer. June 30th. Dear Mr. Lester, things got a little weird yesterday. The police think the robbery was an inside job. You have to tell Mother it has nothing to do with Plantzilla. She will listen to you. Grolier, her prize-winning chihuahua, is gone. Mother shrieked and fainted when she found Grolier's diamond collar in Plantzilla's leaves. I told her maybe Grolier just went for a walk. Please write to her and tell her that Plantzilla doesn't eat pets. She'll listen to you. She thinks I've been spending too much time with Plantzilla. She thinks I brush him too much. But I need to do these things. Plantzilla needs me. Mortimer. 10th of July. Dear Mr. Lester, I felt I had to write to you. I know of nowhere else to turn. If I had not seen these things with my own eyes, I would not have believed it. Plantzilla is able to move on its own. What is more, Plantzilla has developed an insatiable craving for meat. Cooked meat of any kind. I am worried about Mortimer. He has become very attached. Although we are pleased to see Mortimer so motivated, Plantzilla has caused a great strain in our household. We Hendersons are not giver-uppers, but I am sure we are not the right family to continue with this program. I would be happy to have Plantzilla overnighted to you, at no cost to you at all, of course. Very worriedly yours, Mrs. Henderson. Addressing moved, return undeliverable. July 11th, Mr. Lester. Things have gotten worse. My parents wanted me to write you. They are not happy at all. Last night at dinner, they talked about putting Plantzilla out in the backyard until school starts. But Father is worried about the neighbors. I told them the pot roast was all my fault. Plantzilla was so hungry. Mother is afraid for Grolier. I know he just went for a very long walk. Could you write to them? I know they would listen to you. Tell them not to worry. Tell them to let Plantzilla stay. Father brought a shipping box home from his office. They want to send Plantzilla to you in the overnight mail. I don't think they can. Plus, Plantzilla doesn't want to go. Please write soon and explain everything to them. Hurry! Mortimer. Forwarded to 1313 Libertyville Lane, 23 of July. Dear Mr. Lester, I am at a loss for where to begin. Events of this summer leave me quite baffled and searching for the proper way to put this. A metamorphosis has occurred in Plantzilla. He is no longer what he was, and we are not sure what he is turning out to be. Mr. Henderson and I were wondering if it is ever possible for a plant to take on human characteristics. I know this sounds more than strange, but we were wondering if a species such as Plantzilla might not show feelings. Henry wondered if I may have offended Plantzilla, not taking part in grooming his cilia. Despite that, Plantzilla shows enormous caring for us. In assuming these developments, we wonder if perhaps some of the causes of these changes rest with our Mortimer. When we consider all of the time, careful attention, and nurturing he has lavished on Plantzilla, it leaves us with one conclusion alone. When you give a living thing love, you never know where it will lead. We have grown very attached to Plantzilla. Whatever will we do without him? Very truly yours, Mrs. Henry Henderson. July 27th. Dear Mrs. Henderson, FYI, Mortimer's letter of July 11th and your letters of July 10 and 23 were forwarded to me at my home. I am so sorry that this plant program has taken such a toll on your family and you. Please accept my deepest apologies. Now that I have returned, feel free to let me know the best time to collect Plantzilla. In response to your questions, in all my reading, research, and study, I have found nothing that backs up the notion that plants have feelings. However, as I have said to my students time and time again, caring for plants in this program will give you more benefits than you could ever imagine. And yes, in my opinion, you may look no further than your son as to the benefits of Plantzillia's experiences. Please let Mortimer, I am looking forward to seeing all of his good works. Very truly yours, Samuel G. Lester, Science Teacher and Plant Program Coordinator. August 2. Dear Mr. Lester, the best thing has happened. Plantzilla bloomed. I think we all like seeing the pretty pinkish purplish blossoms sticking right out of his top. He smells good too. Mother wonders if Plantzilla wouldn't mind a visit from her gardening club. I think Plantzilla would like that very much. Mortimer. August 6th. Dear Mr. Lester, sometimes I think Plantzilla wants to talk to me. Do you think he could? It would be awesome, truly awesome, with a capital A. I want to adopt Plantzilla. He's everything I could ever want in a plant and more. I have to talk to my parents first, but I wanted you to know. Mortimer. P.S. Good news. Grolier came back last night. Dear Mr. Lester, Mortimer was right all along. I do not know how we ever got along without Plantzilla. We would like it very much if Plantzilla could live with us forever. He is everything we could ever want in a plant and more. Under the circumstances, I think it is the right thing to do. Last night when we had a family meeting to discuss whether or not to adopt Plantzilla, we heard a great commotion coming from the part of the house where Plantzilla has taken his rooms. We rushed to him right away. There was nothing out of the ordinary except the attached letter. We found it resting on Plantzilla's middle leaves. It seems to be addressed to you. We wonder if you could fill in some details, or perhaps you would just like to leave what is there between us and the paper it is written on. Ever so sincerely yours, in friendly hopefulness, the Henry Henderson's attachment. 11 August. Dear Lester, thank you. Me home in this place nice. People good. I will stay with 'em forever. Plantzilla. August 14th. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Henderson, in view of the circumstances, it would appear that Plantzilla has found the perfect home. Yours very truly, Samuel G. Lester, Science Teacher and Plant Program Coordinator. P.S. Do please keep in touch. So what do you think could be real about this wild plant, Zilla? It's true, some plants do grow very quickly. Probably not as fast as Plantzilla did, though. And some plants can actually eat insects, but not big pieces of meat like pot roast. I don't think I've ever seen a plant write a note either or use a pencil. But if we look at the idea of a plant that eats insects, they're often called carnivorous plants. Where the piece of the word called vorous talks about eating, and carne means to meat. So we have meat-eating plants, but mostly they should be called insectivorous because they generally just eat insects. We're going to create our own pretend carnivorous plant like Plantzilla. So we're going to look at a pretend Venus flytrap. Let's get started. Type of a carnivorous plant, and these grow in North and South Carolina. We're going to make ours with a paper plate, crayons, scissors, and some glue. I'm going to start by taking my paper plate and folding it in half. And I'm going to cut these teeth-like pieces, or the cilia like Zilla had. So I'm just cutting triangle-looking pieces out of the edges so that I have these teeth-like looking things. These are not really teeth, but these pointed pieces, or the cilia, are more like the bars in a gel so that they can close quickly and capture an insect. When they do close on an insect, they usually take about 4 days to digest the insect before they will open again. So I've just cut those here. I'm going to get my green crayon. A Venus flytrap is actually, it's a green plant. And so I'm going to color the outside of my plate here green. The plant actually uses the sun for energy and through photosynthesis creates the energy that it needs to grow. Unlike many plants, though, it can't get all of the nutrients that it needs from the soil. And so it needs to get some other nutrients, which it's adapted to do by catching insects. On the inside of the plant, or the trap, is where the insect would be trapped. I'm just going to draw a circle here. And I'm going to color this red for the inside, or the mouthpiece. The inside of the plant's trap is where the insect is trapped and digested in the plant. The insects are attracted to the inside of the trap because of small glands that emit a really sweet smell. Inside the trap and I'm going to draw some circles to represent this, are some trigger hairs that when touched the plant will close. And so I'm going to color this red except for where those holes are. And I'm going to take my scissors and cut these holes out. You might have an adult help you do this so that you don't hurt yourself. So this one is for my thumb, and I'm going to have these three for my fingers, which will represent those trigger hairs. So if I hold it this way, my fingers will be the trigger hairs. You might want to also use some of these triangle pieces to make more. So if I just color part of that red, and I can glue it on to represent some more triggers. What makes this plant even more amazing is that it has a built-in false alarm system. The trap will not close if the trigger hairs are only touched once, but it takes rather a trigger hair to be touched twice or two different trigger hairs to be touched before it will actually close. I'm going to fold these in so that it'll be more like the bars of a gel so it can keep our insect trapped. And so if an insect came and it's touched twice, this will close and it will digest that insect so it can get those extra nutrients. So you can play with your Venus flytrap and it can catch different things too and digest them. I'm going to leave you now with a song. I'm going to play my Appalachian instrument, the auto harp, and this is May There Always Be Sunshine. May there always be sunshine. May there always be blue skies. May there always be libraries. May there always be books. May there always be sunshine. May there always